got a bit of sun coming through. Here's me reading from Paul G. Brett's, my friend Paul G. Brett book, The Clinic. So just different excerpts from it. Let's try and get, oh no, it's up there. Right then. Dean Christopher had been struggling for years to raise money to keep us going, and had agreed, most foolishly as it turned out, to put a mobile phone mast on top of the tower in return for a sizable annual rent. The ecclesiastical lawyers had objected, of course, and my own part in the opposition, mounted by the canons, was not without controversy. We had set up a spiritual community drawing on the teachings of a 12th century theologian, Joachim of Fior, hoping to put new life into the church, and we had prepared ourselves most rigorously for this part of the task. We all felt rather foolish, or at least I did, about the procession through the streets of the city, calling the dean to render account for his wickedness. It must have been the last straw for him, for he set in his resignation a few months later. Fortunately, it was not long before I was offered this present living, and with a sigh of relief, we moved out here. There had been a vacancy for a long time. My predecessor had gone off elsewhere and then sadly committed suicide. Bishop Desmond moved on not long afterwards as well. Not to Canterbury, as he might have hoped, if he'd taken the articles in the local press seriously, but to a diocese overseas where his particular brand of fervour and naivety might be more readily appreciated. And so for some months we had neither bishop nor dean. Now we were to have Rupert Knightsbridge. It was quite a different kettle of fish, as Jane liked to say. His enthronement, some weeks after Easter in the cathedral 20 miles from us, was a splendid affair. He had obviously spent a great deal of money on his cope and mitre, and his pastoral staff were far from the conventional shepherd's crook, lovingly crafted for its purpose in the Lake District or some such place as often affected by more modest senior pastors. It was silver, and it sported an enormous hook at the top, with the diocesan crest cunningly worked into it, unscrewed in 3 places. There were elaborate silver fittings for this, so that it could be put away conveniently for travelling purposes. Again, I knew this because I had been invited to robe with the dignitaries in the dean's spacious vestry, and had a good chance of observing our new father in God at close quarters. His sermon was a remarkable performance. It was a triumph of rhetoric over substance. I am not sure how many of these present were taken in by what he said, or at least by the energy with which he said it, but I wasn't. The text was available for everyone after the service, and I picked up a copy as I left. To my mind, the most shocking part went like this. I will read more later. Now I've got used to live stream. I'm not an expert on these religious wordings, but I'll do my best. Hope you enjoyed it. Please sub me.